Welcome to Painting with Janine Liza. In this class, we'll be painting a fun winter scene. Materials: 140-pound weight watercolour paper taped to a board, paper towel, a 3/4 inch flat brush, a size 8 round brush and a size 3 round brush, water, paint palette, some fun glitters, snow glitter and silver glitter for stars, and we'll be using watercolour paint from tubes, red, white and black. We will also need some glue. Just any white glue will do. I'm putting a sweet pea-sized drop of red, white and black on the palette, and I'm just going to add a little drop of water using the large flat brush just to stop these from drying out. I'm going to put some water in an empty palette hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 drops of water. This is going to be to make a grey. Just using a tiny drop of the black, enough to cover the hairs on the brush. I'm just going to stir that into the water. We'll just test this out on a little piece of paper towel. There, that's a nice grey. I'll just mix another grey using 1, 2, 3 drops of water and 2 scoops of the black paint. Now I'm going to test this value on the paper towel as well. Look at that one, looks like a heart. There we go. It's definitely darker, but still grey. This would be the full concentration of the black. So we have 3 values of the black paint. Starting with the lightest value and the 3/4 inch flat brush, I'm going to put a wavy line here just to indicate where the separation is between the sky and the ground. And then I'm going to put some grey up in this area all the way across. I'm also going to put some little brush strokes of the grey, the lightest version of the grey, down here. Just a few little wavy bumps, just with the top corner here of the brush, not pressing too hard. While the grey area of the sky is still wet, I'm going to crumple up some paper towel and create some diagonal sort of light rays in the sky that will aim towards where I'm going to paint a snowman. I don't want to take all of the grey off of the background, so I'm just going to focus on creating these 3 rays of sort of light that are shining down towards the snowman that I'm going to paint. It's a small painting, but you can see the areas of light against the backdrop. I'm going to dab up some of the curved lines on the lower part of the painting as well. Now, using a bit of water on the size 8 round brush, I'm just going to smudge the edges So just sort of tickling the edges of these sort of shapes on the bottom that can blend the edges in. See how it blends in? So it was looking quite sharp before, but then you just use a little bit of water and you can blend in the edges of areas of paint. And this is a very handy thing to know how to do. It's used very often in watercolour painting, this technique. I'll do this to the line between the sky and the snow as well. After this, I'm going to give the painting a few minutes to dry. Once it's dry, we can continue. Using the next value of black, I'm going to paint some little trees, just sort of zigzagging back and forth between the branches on each side with the tip of the size 8 round brush. There we go. And bring them down so that they're sitting just on top of the snow, like that. Now while the background's nice and dry, it's time to paint the snowman. We'll use the white paint with just a drop of water, and keeping the paint quite thick in consistency, we'll be able to apply this and have it be opaque on the background. Now the background is quite light, but with the details that will be added to the snowman later, this will be very visible. So I'm just going to do a large circle or oval down here for the lower part of the snowman, and then a small circle for the head. With the small brush and the medium black, which is the dark grey, we're going to put some lines on the bumps in the snow. Then I'm going to get a little bit of water on the brush and blend these in a little bit, just touching the underside of each of the lines and sort of smudging that down to blend in on the little bumps of snow. Using a small brush and this medium value of the black, I'm going to just stipple some bushes back here, just dotting in clusters with the tip of the small brush to make shapes that appear like foliage in the distance. I'm going to add a little bit of white paint with the 3/4 inch flat brush to the rays that I dabbed out in the sky, just to define those a little bit more. This is a good way to create those rays if, for instance, you had put your grey on and it dried a little bit too much, so you weren't able to get those sort of clearly defined in the sky. And it just adds a little bit more brightness to it as well. I'm going to put snowdrops on the paper by using the 3/4 inch flat brush and flicking the paint downwards, and then larger drops using the small paintbrush and carefully applying them to the areas of the painting that are darker so they're more visible. With the small brush, I'm going to use the medium grey to add some shadow down the side of the snowman. Just a little bit on this side of the larger circle and at the top as well. As the medium value of grey meets the white, it tends to become a little bit lighter, and that's okay. With this little bit of grey, you can see that this supports the idea that there is light coming from this side and there's shade on the other side. Now for some details on the snowman. This snowman has a big smile in the middle of the top circle because he is joyfully looking upwards. Now for a little bit more shadow at the base of the snowman using the medium value. And then more details in the black, and moving to the white to flick some smaller specks of snow. Now I'm going to get a little bit of white glue and add this to the little bumps in the snow so that I can put some snow glitter on those. A few drops of glue in the sky as well for what could be snowdrops or stars. The rays of light coming from the sky could be from the moon or the sun. Now I get to have fun putting glitter on, carefully placing it where the glue is, and then I will carefully tip the painting to get the excess glitter off. I'm going to use a bit of paper towel to catch the excess glitter, and then I can tip that back into the container. While I've been doing glitter, the snowman's had some time to dry, so now I can add some more details. I'm going to use the darker grey and the white to create finer lines on the edges of the snowman. Now just adding to the shadow and also touching up the white areas for shaping the snowman a little bit more. Using the vibrant red and the small brush, I'm going to put some more details on the snowman, giving him a nice warm hat and some mittens and a lovely scarf. If the red paint's got a little bit dry, just add a drop more water to it. I see there's a star in the sky just above the snowman. I decided to add it into the hat. Now for just a little bit of shadow on the details of the snowman. I'll just add a little bit of black now to define the top of the snow area and a few more drops of snow, and the painting will be complete. Now it's time to sign the painting. I'll just put my initials here. I hope you've enjoyed this project and I look forward to creating the next one. Thank you for viewing and/or trying out this project. For more projects like this, please go to Art with Janine Liza on YouTube.